Hey, everybody. It is Dr. Howard Cohn here. We are going live, or I believe we're going live. We are today on the patio, room number 14 at the Cohn Health Institute. Today, we're going live with Michael McNeal from Integrative Peptides. So super excited to have him on. Let's see if we got him right away. Let's see. And let's see if we can get him to jump in. Lots of exciting stuff to talk about. So let's see. Here we go. See if he pops on. Shoot any second. What are we talking about? Wait, there he is.
There he is. What's up,
Brother,
Doc?
what's up?
Hey, man, how are you?
We are on the patio today at the Cohn Health Institute.
Oh, let's go, dude. Love that
background.
spot. Nice.
So are you in the great state of Texas today?
I'm in the great state of Dallas, Texas. Yes, sir.
Nice. On the road with Integrative Peptides. Got some right here.
Let's
Even
go.
here, little BPC.
Yes,
All right.
sir.
We're going to chat it up. Obviously, you and I always have a lot to talk about when we get together. We first met when you were slinging oral stem cells at STEM Regen, I believe.
That is true. That is true.
We're our good friend Christian. And then, like all amazing guys in our space, really educating people, bringing the energy, which is the most important. You ran into the whole tourist, Kent, and his lovely wife, who has obviously put the screws to you to make sure you jump ship, change jerseys, and at the trade deadline is now with Integrative Peptides. So,
That's right.
so excited. I know you've been on an international tour educating people about oral peptides, why Integrative is leading the charge. Kent, obviously, Dr. Kent's been a huge educator, A4M, all throughout the health world, the biohacking world, the BioStacking world, obviously, with BioStacking 4.0. And I wanted to make sure everybody in our community got a chance to spend some time with you, meet you, see what you're doing, because you're really doing a lot to educate people on peptides, the proper use of them, when they work great, when they don't, how to cycle things. So a lot of different stuff. So, and I know you've recently discovered, my personal favorite.
My favorite.
So we want to hear about your experience of that and
Cool.
kind of how you're BioStacking. But while we're live here, so people know your story a little bit. The story is 10 times stronger when, we've lived it. And you have definitely lived the health struggle, going through a lot of stuff, getting on the other side of most things by now. Can you share with us a little bit about the journey?
Yeah, journey. I used to tell my patients when I was in clinic, I have the 30-second superhero creative journey. How did God make me a superhero? I had to go through 2 traumatic brain injuries back to back. One when I was 12, one when I was 13. I was practicing fake kick in the theater class for West Side Story. I wound up landing on a metal podium corner for the fake kick, and I cracked my forehead open on the linoleum floor and almost went into a coma. A year later, I was in a random drive-by. I got shot at 3 times in the face. It nicked my left eardrum. I fell on the left side of my head. I knocked the left side of my head on the concrete, and I was out cold. And I basically woke up from that 3 years later, because traumatic brain injuries create leaky gut is leaky brain. I get diagnosed with type 2 diabetes and Tourette syndrome, and the entire left side of my body is locked in a sympathetic storm of constant fires all the time. Well, thankfully, I met someone like you, Doc, in my local area, Dr. Peter Gillay, and a functional medicine doctor named Vincent Ganino. And basically, both of them took me from totally debilitated to completely healed in 3 years. And so I got my life back. Well, inside that 3 years, I studied more than what school would ever teach me. I studied out of a passion to want to know how to help myself and how to help others. And information that's utilized right away for your own healing experience or in experimentation becomes a superpower to recall it immediately, not just to regurgitate for a test. And so I turned my life from the corporate world into dedicating my life to educating practitioners and patients alike. I'm the son of a preacher, so I'm literally born to edutain and educate people. And it's just been my passion ever since. Once I got my life back, how do we help get our patients as better as possible, as fast as possible? And I know that peptides are probably one of the top players out there, hydrogen top player. And once you coin the term BioStack together, there's literally nothing we can't heal from or turn around.
So I know most of these people that are watching us right now that are following us, unless they've lived under a rock, they kind of know about something about hydrogen, maybe hydrogen water, but they also have heard about peptides. Most of them said, hey, I got these injectable things from my trainer. He or she has done their research and gave me a bunch of these things, and now they're randomly injecting things in themselves. Or they ordered some stuff on the internet or through Instagram that clearly looked like it's been recycled, relabeled, probably not originating in the US, and they're shoving it in their mouth. So, can we give us a little minute or two on the good, the bad, and the ugly of peptides? What people watch out for? Why you finally, let's say, pick the peptide team,
Yep.
and where the future looks.
So you know this, Doc, because you create products, but you are only as good as the creator of the product itself. So we are founded 9 years ago at Integrative Peptides by a holistic cardiologist, Dr. Kent Holtorf. Kent created an oral based peptide product 9 years ago that no one had seen on the market. Everybody else was using cheap forms of what they call snack, which is an arginine salt that they would throw into a peptide blend, which is an amino acid chain. Arginine is horrible. It feeds viral infections. It can have negative side effects for patients who have some cardiovascular stuff. It just doesn't, it's just the cheaper way of trying to say, because an amino acid chain is present, I'll throw arginine in to help with absorption. It doesn't work that way. You actually have to go at a molecular level like we do at Integrative Peptides. And this was the innovation that Dr. Holtorf brought to Integrative that doesn't exist with other companies. You actually, on a molecular level, have to create a unique delivery system for every peptide individually. So there's two processes, and I'll run through them super quick, but it's
Sure.
called acetylation and amidation. When you acetylate an amino acid chain, you add it to an acetyl group so your liver won't break it down trying to add it to an acetyl group. It'll bypass the liver and go systemic. When you amidate it, you keep each one of them micro encapsulated so the gastric juice can't break it down. So you bypass two of the main filtration systems for anything that we bring in orally. And that's what unlocks the peptide's ability to bypass through the system, go systemic, respond to inflammation, respond to where it was derived from. If it was from the gastric juice, it goes to the stomach. It's from the thyroid, it goes to the thyroid. And it starts to augment the cell surface and turn on healing capabilities. And for me, in clinic, and I'm sure same with you, I've run protocols that would take patients 180 days, 200 days, give me more time. I'm trying to run this detox, this thing. Peptides can really accelerate the healing process in a clinical relevant way, anywhere between 7 to about 30 days. So for the patient experience, you can bring them into this healing state really quickly. And it's how I felt taking H2 Blast. You put that in your mouth, and within 10 minutes of me being in the gym, I am lifting or PRing in a way that I was not before, because all of that free radical damage that was holding back my mitochondrial potential gets squelched immediately. Then I had BPC and TB4 after, and I barely am sore, and I can get right back into the gym and keep lifting. And it's like there's the BioStack revolution, which you're coining, is how do we take peptides in an intelligent way? How do we add things like hydrogen or these technologies that you have in your office, we have in ours, and how do you maximize the ability to utilize them in our bodies?
Beautiful. Let's
Yeah.
knock out a couple of FAQs while I got you here.
Okay,
Probably the
cool.
most important one is my doctor said oral peptides don't work. They must be injected. Not true. Why is it not true? And why are some seemingly working while others are not?
Okay, so there's a whole marketing play out there. And so you have two sides of the coin. You have us, who's an oral peptide company, but guess what? In our clinic, we use orals and we use injectables. So we're not an anti-injectable company. But I will say this, it is the wild, wild west out there when it comes to quality control, certificate of analysis on the batches. And if you're going to break the skin barrier with something, you better know where it comes from and how it's going to function. So I don't recommend patients go on to Peptide Sciences and all these other companies that really are just, we don't know where their stuff is coming from. A lot of weird things out there. They're testing vials now and showing that maybe 8% of what's claimed on the bottle is actually real. And in the oral world as well, you have to be careful. You have to know where your sourcing is from. You have to know the efficacy, the quality, and the power, or else you're going to be in trouble taking something you think is going to heal you, but could actually have some harm to your body. So I'll just start off right off the bat that for manufacturing, for us, we take it very, very seriously. At Integrative, we're manufacturing in Ventura, California. We're pulling things from America. We're utilizing things that we create here. glandular or plant-derived amino acids to create the peptide chains. They're extremely pure. There's no excipients, there's no fillers, there's no binders, there's no additional things within that bottle that's going to accumulate in your system and have a negative side effect. So I would say this: if you flip your bottle over and there's more than 10 ingredients for a product to have one, you probably shouldn't take it. And so what you have to do is eliminate the competition by creating the road as clear as possible of what the label reads is what you get in your system. You have to be transparent as a company like we are, which we will send you certificates of analysis. We have Dr. Holtorf actually proving out white paper research, which costs a lot of money, to show the efficacy that oral is as powerful as injectable. It's just bioaccumulative over time. So an injectable may work 3 days very, very quickly. An oral may take a little bit longer to work there, but I've been using them for 5 years in clinic, and my patients stopped injecting and just stayed on orals because orals wind up being easier to use. You didn't have to break the skin barrier, which can compromise your immune system here and there. And I mean, we're built to eat. You are what you eat. You are what you think. You are what you drink. You're not, you are what you inject. So we're not born with an injection deficiency, but we are biologically created to absorb things through the oral cavity. So the people who discredit it are trying to discredit basically the form of human biology of the way that we've been consuming things from right out the womb, which is directly through the mouth. So for all those naysayers out there, I'm sorry, your research is BS. And we have had plenty of money and time to prove out over the last almost 10 years that oral is just as effective as injectable. So don't listen to the rhetoric. Every Instagram, YouTuber, all these people out there put these silly headlines out and make claims for views rather than doing real research to heal patients of chronic illness.
Well, we've been using them for quite some time in the clinic. We've had great results. Obviously, we biostack them with things like blast, and definitely same thing in our world, in the oral world. You know, when people look at molecular hydrogen, they know there's like 1,300 studies on it. They know there's over 100 and some odd disease models right now that there's great evidence of the changes, whether it's cardiovascular, neurologic, recovery, whatever it is. And a lot of people do water, which is great. We have hydro water. Some people breathe gas. We have it in the clinic. It's great. Same like when a clinic setting is different, but we needed something that where people could actually ingest it, not just put it in water, be water dependent and have it dissipate as fast as it is. The same thing. There's a lot of optics in the world on Instagram and whatnot, where people like, hey, I have X amount of parts million in my thing. Well, as you're measuring it, it's dissipating. And there's no better closed container than your mouth. So when you tear something off, put it in your mouth. And then when you biostack them with, let's say, blood vessel support, which I'm going to ask you about these bioregulators, or this guy here for the guys in the gym, the testes one, or our muscle and our cartilage for like repair and recovery. It's pretty awesome. So can you talk to us a little bit about these guys? And I know that you've worked with multiple different companies of bioregulators that you're bringing to market or helped us discover. What's the difference between a bioregulator? How's it used? And how have you seen it in other things in your own clinic?
So in the peptide space, you have peptides, which typically are a pretty big amino acid chain. So we're talking in somewhere around the 50 range. And so what that means is because they're a little bit bigger, they work at the cell surface. So they'll come into the cell surface. They help with signaling pathways. So we at Integrative Peptides are now utilizing peptide bioregulators as a standard of an oral consumption. Bioregulators are only 2 to 4 amino acid chains in length. So they're extremely, extremely small. And what that means is they actually penetrate the cell membrane. And what they do is they activate our RNA and DNA healing transcription factors to turn on epigenetic switches that actually tell the cell to heal itself. So the synergy in, like, let's say hydrogen, peptides, and bioregulators is the fact that the entirety of the cell itself is receiving nourishment at a molecular level from the outside of the membrane to the inside of the nucleus. And if you get that outside in approach and the surrounding water around it, because we know the power of hydrogen's ability to donate electrons, which charges the cell membrane, it keeps the cell membrane electrified and moisturized and ready to receive. That is like a trifecta that I feel like if patients put that in their body, they're going to feel an immense difference and their cellular health. And the health of the body is the health of the cell. So if you take a bioregulator, like let's say the testes bioregulator, I mean, hormone replacement therapy is great. I'm 35. I'm not quite ready for it. It does wonders for people, but here's my stack. I'm taking H2 Blast. I'm taking a testes bioregulator. I'm taking DPC and TB4 on the peptides, and that's my bio stack with H2 Blast every day at the core of my ability to regulate my hormones. So building healthy lean muscle mass, having clean, consistent energy, keeping my testosterone levels high, because that bioregulator is going to go to the cells of my testes, and it's literally going to tell my testes, Michael needs to communicate from testes to the HPA axis and create more testosterone. So it's literally kicking on a biological process rather than putting something on exogenously, and we start to diminish our body's ability to utilize our own body's natural capabilities at the cellular level. That's the power of a bioregulator. It's literally turning on that cellular switch, and you're going to start producing the healing factor inside that organ system. You'll notice that most bioregulators are glandular derived. They're coming from the tissue of an animal. They're created in a molecular way where they put that bioregulator peptide fraction so that you can turn on those cells. Use cartilage, your cartilage is going to start to heal. Muscle, you're going to put more muscle mass. Eyes, it'll help heal the retina. Literally, you can go into the bioregulators and you can start to pick what you're struggling with, have foundation of H2 Blast, throw some peptides in there, put the combination together, and there's just nothing like it on the planet, Doc. It's literally in clinic for me. I was turning around chronic autoimmune conditions in no more than like 2 or 3 months using peptides and bioregulators, because you're affecting intracellular biology. Very, very few supplements or substances on earth have the ability to go and affect the cell itself. We're not just talking about pouring in nutrients. We're talking about healing at a genetic level, which if you listen to Western medicine culture, they say is not a possibility. They will give you a death curse diagnosis of something that will program your DNA to have it forever. And here we have a litany of medicine and pioneering people from Russia and all over the place, and we're putting it all together. And there's nothing that I haven't seen turned around. And same for Dr. Holtorf. It doesn't matter if it's cancer, it doesn't matter if it's autoimmune condition.
Well, it's clear that we're on the front end of what's possible. I mean, the results that we see are amazing already. Let me ask you one more question. I told a few people, that a couple of doctors too, that we were going to chat today for a few minutes. And one of the questions they have too, which a lot of people don't know, people are like, oh, they get excited about these things and they go, I'm just going to take them like my omegas or a multivitamin, whatever. And they, people come in our office for the first time and they're yeah, I'm in a peptides, and they're like been taking them for months. They're not necessarily designed to be done, but like there's a certain amount of peptides that have angiogenesis properties to them, which I don't know where and how they're getting this information, or they're not. So can we help this community and shine a light on a little bit of these things need to be microdosed at times, cycled at times. They need to be, you need to be aware of what you're putting in your body, because more is not better. Why we started BioStacking is having a person who knows what they're doing in these certain areas, stacking these things together. So you need less to get faster, more cost-effective results for people the way they deserve to have happen. But a lot of people are just going, well, more is better. They're on like 8 or 10 or 15 things. And they're like, I'm frank. So can you kind of maybe shine a light on the ignorance that's out there in this category?
Yes, of course. So here's the deal. Test, don't guess. So at the core of how you practice, Doc, at the core of how we practice with Dr. Holtorf, we're the running functional medicine labs. I know for you, you're a muscle tester like I am. We're muscle testing to get dose specificity. We're utilizing peptides in an intelligent way. If there's something on a functional medicine lab, let's say the thyroid's off, we're giving a thyroid and a thyroid peptide bioregulator like ThyroPep, and we're going to put it in the body until we see a shift in the marker. But here's the deal. Every single thing in nature is cyclical, including the cycles, how our bodies function. We're on a circadian biology rhythm that is timed and tuned. And there is times in nature where the land takes a rest. And so if you don't give your body a rest from overdoing something, you start to dampen the cell receptor site. It doesn't become as powerful, as effective. So if you don't start taking breaks, and this is typical rule of thumb that I would tell patients. If you go 3 weeks on, go 1 week off. If you're going on a peptide, if you're doing bioregulators, they're typically 10 days on, you take about 20 days off. You can do maybe 3 or 4 months. You should see clinical shifts. We're not saying that when we push your arm and tell you you need this, it's something that you need for life. We're not snake oil salesmen trying to utilize labs to get no change. We're literally running them to prove out the change so that you, the patient, or you, the doctor who's recommending them, if you put the patient on it in an intelligent way, they're going to get a big outcome. They're going to see huge improvement. I have never really had patients on peptide protocols more than about 6 months. They utilize them in interesting ways. They turn on the markers that were turned off. They start to bring balance to their body. Their levels kind of balance out. And then I leave it up to them. They can come back to it if they want. I don't recommend taking 15, 16 different things every day. It's not necessarily the best for you, but we just live in a culture of overconsumption, means that things will get better faster. But we need to take things in an intelligent way. So obviously start with this, test first. Go see you, doc, go see me, go see Dr. Holtorf, go see someone who's going to run labs. If you have high inflammation and autoimmune numbers, we're going to start to recommend a stack around the condition that you have. And so that's where I would start. That's a lot of people, and even us in the practitioner community, we sometimes are shooting in the dark because we're allowing the patient to lead us rather than us be the leader for their health and healing journey. So you see us get dosing specific with muscle testing, go see Dr. Cohn. He will help you get into that flow and rhythm. But with the rule of thumb, with anything you do, take a break. Take a break. I used to say it's like P90X. You have to have muscle confusion. If you lift the same weight every single day the rest of your life, your muscle doesn't grow anymore because you don't stimulate the cells to have a new stress or a bigger challenge. Same thing with peptides. Take a break, come back to them, and you'll feel that magic again. So again, cyclical, 3 weeks on, 1 week off, peptide bioregulators, 10 days on, 20 days off. You can do multiple rounds, do it until a clinical shift happens in your body, or do it until your marker shifts.
Beautiful. Last thing, we say in the hockey world, one of my favorite quotes by Wayne Gretzky is, the reason that he was so different and so above the pack was that he said he went where the puck is going to be, not where it is. So take us in the future, a year, 2 years out, peptides, bioregulators, other things that are evolving out of that, hydrogen now in an ingestible form, stacking these different things, measuring new things. Where do you think the ball's going or the puck's going?
I think the puck is going that in foundational medicine now, you will have to have as a base peptides, hydrogen, bioregulators, serious cases, stem cells, lysosomes. But the beauty is that treatments that used to cost a patient $20, $30, $40,000, you can now ingest in your body for as little as $100 a month or $200 a month and have the same clinical and therapeutic approach. So I feel like things are going to become more cost effective. They're going to be able to be blended in a way, and maybe there's a future product we're going to create one of these days that's going to be a peptide bioregulator hydrogen product. Really, we can do whatever we want, but just something that helps to bring everything together. And the future of medicine is now. And if you get in this train now and you start to utilize them, you're gonna see in 50 years when they're starting to heal things quickly, we already have that technology now. So start with BPC 157. Start with a bioregulator like testes or ovaries, because we all need hormonal support. Get H2 blasts in your system every day, and you're encountering the future today. And so that's where I think things are going, Doc. I think we're going to be from the medical technology side that we have access to in our clinics to stacking them intelligently. There won't be a condition on earth we can't turn around and allow the body to heal itself. And so I'm just excited to see how, as technology improves and AI improves and all these things, everything just gets optimized in the speed at which we get to experience. And so I just know healing is going to come at a rate that's going to be absolutely shocking. And we're already in it, so it's pretty fun.
Yeah, it's a great time to be alive. It's a great time to be in this space. And as we say, there's no better feeling we'll ever have than someone else's life being made better because we get to have an influence on it. So we're going to catch up with you again shortly, I'm sure, because there's a lot of stuff going on all around the world. So looking forward to meeting up with you guys again somewhere soon. And how do they find you? How do they find Integrative? How do they find you? How do they find all these things?
Okay, so first I want to mention we're doing a peptide summit and bioregulator summit. So if this talk inspired you, please go to the Dr. Talks Instagram page or Integrative Peptides page. Go look in our bio, sign up. It's free. I would love for you guys to encounter that. It's just a bunch of amazing interviews. Me and Dr. Holtorf and like 30 other experts. It actually starts today and goes till November 1st. You can go to integrativepeptides.com. If you're interested as a practitioner for a merchant account, you can go there. If you're a patient, reach out to someone like Dr. Cohn or me. We can guide you in the right direction to get those peptides from you. My Instagram is molecular.mike. Shoot me a DM, reach out with questions. My literal job as director of education is to nerd out with everybody. So I'm literally here to be a resource to anyone who I can support on their healing journey. And I just appreciate the time to talk to you, Doc. You are one of the most incredible healers. You have an anointing that I've yet to see in very, very few healers out there. And I can't wait to see you Friday because no one adjusts like you. So I'm excited, brother.
Well, thank you, brother. Thanks for
Yes, sir.
taking the time. Appreciate you. Loved everybody at Integrative, and we'll see you guys soon.
Thank y'all.
Bye, guys.
Later.